right, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome again to this Awkwardly Zen special event with Jason McBride. It is beginning an Enchanted day. And welcome, Jason.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much. It's exciting. As I said, it's exciting to be here with each of you. I see faces that I've known for a long time and some very new faces. So it's exciting to be in your company and to share this time with you. I know that, as I often start my days, I want to start my day and have this intention of encountering and revealing the source, the spirit, the divine in my life. But one of the things that I've seen, and I don't know if you're like me, is it's so easy to go through the day and quickly forget that intention, quickly get caught up in busyness or circumstances. And often I'll find myself laying down into my bed at the end of the day and going, oh my gosh, I completely 100% all day long was absorbed in self thoughts and forgot about my intention and about what was going on. And obviously, that is not my desire, but it does seem to be something that is common to many of us, is this struggle of how do we stay present? How do we see that every moment is filled with the unlimited potential of the divine? That every moment is filled with power and creativity and knowledge and wisdom. And one of the things that I have seen in my journey, and maybe you have seen in yours, is that I believe the perspective that we start the day with has a significant impact on how we go through that day. And not only how we start the day, but hopefully returning back throughout the day to those intentions, to those movements and perspectives that we started. And so today we're going to look at what are 4 movements that keep us in a place of raising our energy, of raising our vibration, of raising our perspective to be able to see the reality that sometimes escapes us when we get stuck in the busyness of the day. I was reading this article. It was very interesting. In the 1960s, the United States Senate put together a subcommittee to study time management. And in this study, they pulled all of these experts together and they began to look at the impact of technology upon our time and upon our day. And their biggest concern, and what they came back to the Senate and made a presentation on, was that the advances of technology between 1960 and what they were predicting the end of the century, by 1999, that technology will have advanced to the place where we will each have so much free time in our day that our biggest concerns will be about how to cut our work weeks short, how to take more vacation, and how to retire early. And so they wanted to put together research and study around how we will fill people's time with more things to do. And I wonder if that has been your experience in technology and in the life that we live today. It's funny to me that they thought that when we got to 1999, or here we are now, in 2022, to think that they thought that technology was going to free up our lives in such a way that we just wouldn't know what to do with all this free time and space that we have. And the reality for me, and maybe for you, has been quite the opposite. In fact, what's been interesting to me is one of the things that I've kind of noticed, and I'm maybe a little older than some in the room here, is that when I was a child and in high school and in college, so let's say up into my 20s, maybe some into my 30s, you go through your day, and when you encounter people, you greet them, and often the common greeting from where around my area is how are you? And one of the things that I would often notice is you kind of get 1 or 2 common responses. And it used to be, I'm fine, or I'm good. And that was just kind of the exchange. How are you? I'm fine. How are you? I'm good. And we would kind of move on with our day. And I don't know if you have noticed this, but for me, in probably the last decade or so, I've noticed that the responses to those questions are changing. More often than not, when I say, "How are you?" to someone, I notice that I get the response, "I'm busy. I'm busy." And I notice I say it myself. People will say, "How are you?" "I'm busy." And then everyone kind of nods and we shake our heads like, "I understand where you're at." And I don't know if I say I'm busy because I hope that you will pity me and we can commiserate or something like that. Or maybe, sometimes I worry I wear it kind of secretively like a badge of honor. Like if I say I'm busy, then you think I'm involved in a lot of things and maybe somehow my life is important. Or maybe I've just kind of bought into the lie that I am what I produce. And so if I slow down, then maybe I'm not producing enough and therefore maybe my value is going down. And all of these things probably I should be processing with my counselor and not with you. But here it is. You get to see the inner workings of my brain, is that there is just this addiction to hurry. And there is this, in fact, I saw in a journal one time, they were beginning to call it hurry sickness, that this hurry is impacting physical ailments, it's impacting emotional stability, mental stability, it's affecting our spiritual nature. And I was listening to this story. There was a man named John, and John went to his spiritual director, his spiritual advisor or mentor. And he said, "I want to know, how do I become spiritually healthy?" And the advisor takes a moment, and John gets out his notebook and his pen, and he's anxious and he's ready. And the spiritual advisor, after a few moments, begins to speak and says, "John, you must ruthlessly eliminate hurry." John says, "Oh, that's great. Number one, ruthlessly eliminate hurry." And in kind of a exasperated way of kind of give me all the information, give me everything I need. John says, "Then what's next? What else? What more?" And the spiritual advisor sits there for a few minutes and says, "There is nothing else." See, hurry is not of the devil. Hurry is the devil, is what the spiritual advisor said. Now, we don't want to get into maybe debates about is there a devil or not a devil, but the point that the spiritual mentor was trying to drive home was that hurry can be an enemy in your journey, because we're about unfolding ourselves, unfolding our spirit, sharing it with the world. When we are about loving other people, well, love takes time. And the one thing that we don't have when we're in a hurry is time. And so when I wake up in the morning and I begin my day, there's many things that I cannot control. I cannot control some of the circumstances of my life. I cannot control some of the outcomes of my efforts, but I can control my perspective. I can control my attitude. I can control my response and the actions that I take. And how I just start my day will dictate how I enter into those things. And see, there are some truths that I believe that are universal. And we might maybe differ in some of the language or maybe some of the symbolism or maybe some of the ways that it comes out in our life. But the things that I believe are this, is that the universe is full of the divine. The universe and the cosmos is the divine, and it is full of energy. It is full of power. And the beauty of this universe is that we are all connected in ways that we cannot even see. that every single one of us is a representation and a reflection of that divine presence, of that divine energy, that everything that we come in contact with is a representation, contains that energy, whether it is physical, material, human, animal, whatever it may be. We are all connected in this world. And not only are you a reflection, but the very presence of the divine is you, and that all of the divine is in you. That the divine did not just look at you and say, you know what, I'm going to give this individual maybe 20% of my love and 30% of my forgiveness and maybe 10% of my wisdom. No, every single one of us has received 100% of wisdom, 100% of love, of abundance, of a power, of gratitude, all of the things that we can think about that are involved in this energy has been given to us and resides within us. And our responsibility, our job, our role is to reflect and to reveal the divine, the source, the spirit, to reflect and reveal this cosmos in a way that is unique to us and to us alone. For the divine, the source, is infinite in all things. And how do you reveal the infinite? But in ways of infinite possibilities. The billions and billions of people who have lived before us, those who are alive today, those who come after, there is no other that is like you. You are a representation of this divine in this way that we have never seen before. If the universe is the 14.5 billion years that it is estimated to have existed, the universe has waited 14.5 billion years for your voice, for your manifestation. That is how unique and beautiful and special that you are. And it is up to us to lean into these places and to bring this forth and reveal it for the world to see. Because if we don't, the world will never have another chance to see our unique, special representation of all that has been placed in us for the good of the universe, for the good of this earth, for the good of all people. And that is the power that each and every one of us have in our life, whether we recognize it or not. This is the place that I can live. This is the place that I can move. This is the place that my essence and my presence can be, and it comes from a place of connection and power to all things and to who we are in our truest, most authentic self. And so when I wake up in the morning, I have the choice to be about busyness, to be about worry, or maybe shame and guilt, maybe things that have come before, maybe things weeks ago, months ago, years ago that I can begin to jump into and meditate on. And those have direct impacts upon my energy and the way I encounter my day. And I don't mean to minimize anyone's pain, anyone's past, or anyone's, worry or concerns about what comes in the future. But if that is the place that I'm living, if that's the energy and the vibration that I'm bringing forth, then that is the energy and vibration that will carry me through my day. Or I can choose to remember what is true about me, what is true about my orientation to reality, and what is true about the divine that is trying to come forth and be expressed as my truest and best self. And I can allow my energy to raise to that place and let that carry me through the day. And so as we do that, 4 perspectives, 4 attitudes, or 4 approaches, whatever you want to call them, I might even go as far as call them 4 superpowers that we can engage in is what we're going to talk about. And when I share them with you, you're going to go, my goodness, Jason, that was super simplistic. I knew those things. I'm not going to share with you anything that you don't know. I'm going to share with you what you do know and hope that it brings encouragement in your life and that you see new ways of incorporating it into your life. I have have a way that I use these 4 movements, but it will become true for you if you apply them to what fits you and what fits your personality and how you move through the day. And the first superpower, the first movement or perspective that I want to talk about is the movement of gratitude. It is the power of gratitude in your life. See, gratitude is the recognition of the divine. It is the recognition of spirit and of source. It is saying that I am connected to source. There is more going on here than the human eye can see. And when I enter into the movement of gratitude, I am recognizing the divine, but I am also affirming my true identity. That is the movement of gratitude. When I am saying, I am thankful for this day, I am thankful for my life, I am affirming the value and the greatness of the divine that is me, the spark of life that is with me. And what gratitude does is it is an orientation to reality. So not only does it recognize the divine, it affirms my identity, but it orients me to the reality that is going on around me as I begin to enter my day and say that I am thankful for this day. I am one with the divine. I am one with life. I am one with the universe. I am perfect as I am. I have everything I need. I am so thankful for what spirit is bringing forth and unfolding as my life and as my presence. Gratitude puts me in orientation to all of these things. And so the very first movement, the very first thing that we want to begin to engage in is this idea of gratitude. And as I think about gratitude, then what it's doing is it orients me to reality. It moves me into the second superpower, the second movement or flow, which is the idea of surrender. Now, the idea of surrender can be a little scary for some of us if you have ever surrendered to something outside of yourself and that has been taken advantage of. Surrender can become a bad word, but the surrender that I am talking to you about, I hope you will see, is a wonderful and glorious word because I'm talking about surrendering to what seeks to come forth as your best self. You are surrendering to you. You are surrendering to your spirit, to what is most true about you. And when we talk about surrender, we would use words like willingness. I am ready and willing to reach my full potential. It is also talking about the idea of letting go. See, I think for many of us, we want to, at least for me, I want to control, I want to manipulate, and I want to work towards my desired outcomes. I have a plan and I want to produce that plan. But as spirit is working through my life, it is not something that can be controlled and manipulated. It is a flow that I join with and I work with. And so there is a letting go of my need to control and manipulate what the divine is doing, what my spirit is bringing forth, and just a willingness to let go. And the next word that it comes to mind for me with surrender is allowing. I am allowing what is most true in me. I am staying present to the voice that is within inside of me. I am allowing it to come forth. And so I start with this movement of gratitude that orients me to reality. It orients me to my remembrance of the divine, to acknowledging my identity, which then moves me into surrender, where I am willing to let the divine to come forth in my life. I am letting go of my perspectives, my needs, my ability to control, and I am allowing this flow, this channel of the spirit in my life. There was a man who went to a Buddhist monastery. His name was Kamal, and Kamal did a silent retreat. at this Buddhist monastery, and I can't remember how long it was, maybe about a week. And at the end of it, he was feeling much better. He was feeling calmer. He was feeling stronger, a stronger sense of identity, but yet felt like there was something that was missing. And went to the teacher of the retreat and shared with them what was going on. And the teacher said, well, before you leave, if you would like, you can speak with any of the other monks. And so Kamal took a few moments and saw one of the monks and went up and said, can I ask you a question? How do you find peace? And the monk said, well, I say yes to everything. To everything that happens, I say yes. And went on to explain that most of our pain, most of our suffering is because of resistance of what is, of trying to control what is, that really life is. And when we resist it, we suffer. But when we say yes and we surrender and we allow things to come forth, then we're able to put ourselves in a position of saying, okay, what is coming forth in me now? Who should I be now? What needs to emerge in my life for me to find peace in this moment, for me to find power, for me to move forward in a way that manifests who I am, that brings my spirit to bear in all of its glory. And so we see there's this movement of gratitude, a movement of surrender. And as we have been thankful and oriented, as we have surrendered to what is coming forth, well, the next movement can't help but be expectation. Because now I know that things are coming forth in my life that I have never thought of before, that I have never seen, that I have never heard, what the divine has imagined for me. I live in a place of expectancy because I cannot wait to see what is going to come forth. I live as a person of hope, because I have outrageous dreams. And if I can dream it, well, I know the divine can dream even more. And so I can't even begin to wait to see what is going to come forth. That I know that when I live in expectancy, every single experience of my day is an opportunity to see the divine. Every interaction, every person I encounter is an opportunity to see and experience the source of all life. Every moment is filled with the unlimited potential, the unlimited power, the unlimited presence, and the unlimited purposes of the source of the universe. We may not be able to see it, but it is there. Every single second of your life is filled with potentiality. There is no obstacle in your life except what is there to reveal latent potential in your life, to bring forth your spirit, to bring forth the divine that is within you. And so when I think about expectation, I think about hope, but I also think about intention. See, I intend to see the goodness of the divine in my day. I expect that every mundane thing that is happening around me is a window into the spiritual realm, and that the God power is seeking for me to see it. That our angelic powers are seeking for me to see it. Our ancestral powers are seeking for me to see it. And when my third eye, when my spiritual eye is open, everything can be a window into the unseen reality, which is the power of this universe, the divine. And it may not be in lightning strikes and thunders and bolts. It might just be in the stillness and the moment of your day. Something that you see, something that you hear, something that you feel, any of your sensations that are coming forth in your spirit, that you know this day is special. Every moment is special. And so I live with that intention, but not only is it about intention, it is about attention. I am paying attention to this moment. So I intend in this moment to see the divine, and I am giving my attention to what the divine is raising within me. And you know what is exciting about this movement is often it is not spectacular and grandiose. It is often very familiar because it is your very own voice. It is your very own thoughts. It will feel very natural. It will feel just like you, for it is you. It is the spirit that is you coming forth. And that's why we set our intention and our attention with this expectation that what is coming forth in me is the divine, and I can't wait to see what happens. Now, these three movements right here, these three perspectives are enough to make for a glorious day. They are enough to make for an amazing moment by moment encounter with an enchanted life where you are working with the flow of the Spirit and all that is within you. But this fourth one is what brings it all together in power. And I will call it assignment. And you might call it purpose. But here it is, as gratitude has oriented me to my day, as surrender has prepared me and allowing my best self to come forth, as expectation, now I'm looking for it, I'm intending it, I'm giving my attention, is the assignment that I am walking in the direction of my sacred yes. I am walking in the direction of my bliss and what is coming forth as my life. And what this comes back to is two things. It is trusting your inner voice. It is hearing and trusting your inner voice. And then here's the challenge. It is taking action on what you hear. It is beginning to take a step of faith to put into action what your spirit is trying to bring forth as you. And this is such a challenge because I talk to so many people who are about this idea of gratitude, and they're all in, and they're all in on surrender, and they're all in on expectation. But there is something of a fear or a hesitancy or an obstacle of taking our spiritual voice, our inner voice, and trusting it. So many people have been told, don't trust your inner voice. You need some kind of outside guru, or you need some kind of religion, or you need some kind of book to tell you what is the way. And I'm here to tell you, you do not need these things, for the divine is in you. Your own spirit, your own voice is of the divine. And you can trust what is in you. And when you trust and you begin to take action, you're going to learn more and more what is true voice, what is true of your spirit, what is true from your soul, from your sacred heart, from your sacred wisdom, and what is not. And it takes it as a growing, discerning process. And the only way we grow and discern is by stepping into it and by experimenting and by trusting and by putting into action the things that are coming into our spirit. As we begin to visualize them in our spirit, we begin to make them manifest in our world by taking steps of action. And so many of us are being held back by fear, by believing that maybe we have to have it all figured out before we take a step. I've met so many people who say, I feel like I'm sensing this pull by the spirit to do something, or I'm sensing the source is nudging me in a direction, but yet I don't have all the steps figured out. It's not clear. And that waiting for the perfect moment, that waiting for clarity, for 100% of it to work out, keeps them from moving. Now, let me ask you this, and I don't know how this might work, but here's just an idea. If spirit, if source, if the universe, if life gives you a step to take and you do not take it, why would source or spirit give you a second step? So many of us are saying, well, I need step 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 because I want to step out knowing that I have 100% success. And spirit may be saying, just trust me on the first step. And if you will follow in this first step, then I will give you the second. Then I will give you the third. And that's where that surrender and that letting go, I don't get to control the outcomes. I simply surrender and I trust my voice and I take a step and I move into my assignment. And I know that for every single person here, you might be saying, Jason, what's my purpose? Well, we have what's called a universal purpose and we have specific purposes. I cannot probably tell you what your specific purpose is, but I can tell you your universal purpose. Your universal purpose is to reveal and reflect the divine in a unique way that only you can do. That you are to bring love to other people. You are to add value to this world and to those around you. And we, as a spiritual community, we have to be careful that we don't sit in a place where we just continue to look inward. That we're all about the gratitude, all about the surrender, but we've got to move into that expectation, that assignment there every single day. I'm waking up and I say, what is mine to do today, Spirit? Where would you have me speak? Where would you have me move? And it could be that it's simply just the presence that you bring into the moment. For every single one of us has a vibration and an energy, and you can step into a room, you can step into a group of people, and without saying a word, you can impact them with your vibration, with your presence, with your spirit. You can bring life. You can bring abundance. You can bring goodness. And now it may be other areas, and it could be little things, because we all do little things with great love. And it may be larger things, and still we do little things with great love, because nothing great happens without doing the little things. And so we step forward and we do those little things in great love. We learn to trust our voice and we step into our assignment. Now, what does this look like? For me, and this is where you will have to adapt these 4 movements to what fits your personality, what fits your spiritual wiring. But for me, I get up in the morning and it depends on the amount of time that I have. But I want you to know you can do this in as little as 1 minute. In less than 60 seconds, you can walk through these 4 movements. When I wake up in the morning, I am so thankful for my life and for this day. I surrender to what seeks to come forth as my best self. And I can't wait to see moment by moment how that is revealed. And I accept my assignment to love well and add value to other people. In less than 60 seconds, I move through all 4 movements. And I will come back to that throughout the day, because as I am sitting at a stoplight, as I am walking to a meeting, as I am moving around my house, I can move through those movements. Sometimes I just get enamored by one movement. It might be expectation. And I just sit there and I just get excited about what is coming, what might be happening in this moment, in this present moment. And so don't think that this has to be an elaborate process. You can move through gratitude and surrender, expectation, and assignment in less than 60 seconds. Now, when I have more time every morning, I try to set aside 30 minutes. That's my time for just meditation and for prayer, for raising my vibrational energy. And I can take sometimes just 5 minutes. And when I'm doing 5 minutes, what I will do is I will just incorporate some of the mantras that have meaning to me. These may not have meaning to you, but you might find the ones that have meaning to you. And so I'll sit there and I'll say things like, gratitude. I am thankful for this day. I am thankful for my life. I am thankful that I am one with the divine. I am one with life. I am one with love. I am perfect as I am. I have everything that I need. I am enough. I am supported by all of the energy of the universe, and the divine is on my side. That would be my gratitude movement, the mantras that I would walk through. I would then move into surrender. I accept what is, and I move forward to what can be. I surrender to what seeks to emerge itself in my life. I am free from the opinion of others. I am free from anything that is holding me back. I release any unhealthy mental models or obstacles that are keeping me from allowing my best self to come forth this day. And so I take a couple of minutes, just mantras around surrender. Expectation. Again, I've already said some of these things. Every moment is filled with the unlimited potential and power and purposes of the divine. Every experience that I will encounter to this day is an opportunity to see and to experience more of source and spirit in my life. I am a blessing. I will bring life and goodness and abundance into each conversation, into each relationship. And I just begin to talk about my expectancy. No eye has seen, nor ear has heard what the divine has intended. For those who are full of love and of presence. Then I will move into assignment where I say, today I am going to reflect and reveal the divine in only a way that I am able to do. I will trust and I will follow my inner voice. I will take action diligently, patiently, persistently. I am an individual of hope that is bringing forth my gifts and talents for the good of this earth, for the good of all people. I receive energy from the universe and from the energy, and I let that energy flow back to the earth and to those that are around me. And this is how I can take this time, and within 5 or 10 minutes, oh my goodness, I just feel like I am on a different place. And I am ready to tackle the day. And of course, as the day hits, I sometimes have to reorient and come back to these things. When I have more time, and this might be, a talk for a different day, but I love to incorporate kind of the 4 elements and the 4 corners of creation. So in my meditation time, I will actually stand and I will face the north. And the north reminds me of the North Star, of direction, which for me is wisdom, the spirit of the goddess of Sophia. And that wisdom and intellect are mine, and that my life is being guided by the divine. And I think about the north, which is connected to the earth. The element of the earth is the foundation, that when I stand and I face the north, I think of my foundation, that my roots are going down deep into the earth, and I am drawing that energy into my life. And that the north that I am is the reminder of the divine. It is that movement of the gratitude. And so as I remind myself of the 4 corners, I start with north and I start with earth, and that connects to my gratitude. And then as I turn and as I face the east, and the east is connected to the air, because the rising of the sun, and I think of the rising of the sun in me, the rising of the spirit that is within me, and that air that represents the spirit, the movement that we cannot see, but we often feel and we know and we sense what is stirring, what is flowing within my life. And I receive the power from the east and from the air as I surrender to what is arising within me. And then I turn and I face the south. And south is connected to the element of fire. And obviously, as I talked about, these things are rising up. Well, the fire within my soul is beginning to burn. And fire is a transforming element that burns away what is not needed, so that what is needed is birthed and come forth. It is a warming element. It is a light that gives light. And so I am thankful for the fire that is coming forth, and hopefully will be expressed through all of my senses, expressed through my presence, expressed through my mouth. In fact, there's a funny thing. There's a barbecue restaurant not too far from my house that has a huge sign, and it says, "Put the South in your mouth." And so for some reason, when I turn and face the south, I think about that fire in my mouth, hopefully coming forth to bless other people. I'm sorry, but little analogies like that just speak to me. So there you go. When you see barbecue, put the south in your mouth, speak it forward. And then as I turn towards the west is connected to water. It is the flow that is coming into our life. It is the flow that is going out of our life. As the west is that adventure forward, that step into the unknown, that I am listening to my voice. I'm taking a step. I don't know where it's going to go. I'm following the flow of the spirit. And so there are so many different ways that you can take these movements and connect them to areas. Maybe if you are like me, lover of the 4 areas or the 4 elements, these can also work with the chakra energies as you're coming up from foundation and moving your way up, and getting to that, third eye, the crown chakra, those kinds of things. So take these ideas, and if they are helpful, implement them in a way that fits your spirituality, that makes sense to you, that resonates with who you are. You do not need to take on any other person's spirituality. You do not need someone to tell you how to do it. Place yourself in a position of gratitude, of a position of surrender, of a position of expectancy and assignment. And your spirit will unfold into an enchanted day. Let me just take a moment and just share a quick blessing with each of you. Let these things settle in. Maybe that some of it is for you. Maybe you can put words to what pieces are for you to take away. Maybe nothing of what we shared today was for you, but I pray that you will attend to your spirit and what it is sharing with you and what it is speaking to you. And I ask this blessing over your life, that may you have eyes to see. May you have eyes to see the light that is in everyone. May you reveal the light that is within you. May each of us together bring light to other people as we allow our spirits to unfold and bring forth enchanted days where every moment is filled with potential, with power, and with purpose. May you be blessed with all peace and with all love.
All right, guys, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming. This has been amazing. And we look forward to seeing you next time. Bye, guys.